Good evening, people. Spittin with Spitter. How y'all doing, man? It's a bonus clip, super special bonus clip for me. Before we get started, let me shout out my sponsor, Lehigh Vape. It's located at 822 Nazareth Pike. You go there for all your vaping essential needs, from oils to hardware. Tell them TJ sent you. They'll take care of you. Again, that's Lehigh Vape, and that's located at 822 Nazareth Pike. Now for my guest, Phillipsburg Legend, basketball legend, a hero in my eyes, a man of God, a man of integrity, EJ Tarpey. Hey, what up?
What's up, little cuz? First of all, thank you for that intro. And I'll definitely put a check in the mail for you for doing that. And biggest thing is happy birthday, little cuz. 41. Happy birthday. Many more, many blessings. And you're a good dude, TJ. Glad you're my cousin.
Appreciate that. Much love to you, and thank you for that. Before we get started, I normally give people their flowers at the end of the show, right? I do this show to spotlight people that I love and care for, or that I have relationships with, that do great things in the community. And I wanted to say to you, like, there were times that you were picking me up and taking me to church. A couple of those times I was high. I didn't necessarily know what was going on, what I was doing there, but you planted the seed, right? For all intents and purposes, God planted the seed, because God doesn't make mistakes. He facilitated his relationship with me and him through you. And for that, I appreciate you. I love you, and thank you so much.
That's good, TJ. I'm glad I could help you because, I love you, bro. You're my little cousin, and I've known you since you were a little tiny teenage kid, bebopping into the youth center. And I was worried about you. You came in bebopping, playing hoops, and then you kind of went down a different path.
Right.
I was trying to reel you back in. And you were like the big fish on the end of the line. You kept struggling and going the other way. And I remember I just kept saying, God, please help this kid, help my little cousin out. And I didn't know how to help you. I mean, tried to be a buddy to you and stuff like that. But I was worried about you. I thought, man, he's going to end up in prison. So I remember many times I would just say, God, man, be with TJ. Help him right now, God. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know where he's at, but protect him. And hopefully, maybe God answered one of those prayers. And thank God, here you are, 41. Who would have thought, TJ? 41.
Who would have thought? I had solid plans on not being here by 25.
You were on that path, bud. You were on the path of I don't want to say destruction, but yeah, you were on the wrong path. But I'm so glad that you got on the right path. And I don't know. I remember like seeing you walk into church, and we talked about it earlier. And it's like, wow, here you were. All of a sudden now, church is involved in your life. You're walking in. Your two kids are coming in. Thaddeus and Lexi are running in. They're giving me and Eden hugs and sunshine hugs, and then Jackie walks in, like an angel. She's quiet. She sits down, and then you come in a little bit late, like the diva you are.
Thank you.
And then you slow down. You sit in front of me, and I remember a couple of times I'd stare you down and give you a little, like I was gonna thump you. But they were good days at that church when your family was joining us. They were classic times. I miss those times. I do.
Most definitely.
Shout out to Pastor Mark.
Shout out to Pastor Mark. I miss Pastor Mark.
Yeah, we all miss him. And he was a good dude, good preacher, decent little basketball player too.
He had a motor on him.
He had a motor. He could hit the three.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, me and Pastor Mark beat you and somebody else 2-on-2.
I think you're mistaken. I don't remember that at all. I don't think that happened. That might have been one of your, what is it called? I don't know. When you were high, you don't remember. All of a sudden, it's all. So, no, you and Pastor Mark weren't beating me and nobody.
We could talk about me all day. This isn't about me.
That's your birthday, though. It's fun to talk about you.
We're going to get to you.
Sure.
Now, I'm going to ask you a couple questions that, seem maybe generic, but when did you start playing basketball? When did you first pick up the rock?
Oh, wow. Well, I was so fortunate. I grew up in Phillipsburg like you did, and obviously Phillipsburg is a sports-minded town. Mm-hmm. So I was like any little kid in the neighborhood. and I played football season, basketball when it was basketball season, and baseball. So, 8, 9 years old, you're playing in pee-wees and biddy league and stuff like that. My neighborhood where I grew up, much like you were only a little bit across the cemetery from me.
Right.
But every time I went outside my house, there was somebody to play with. I don't care if it was tag, racing, 2-on-2 football in the street, and baseball. It's just kids all around our neighborhood. And a lot of guys will mention it. We grew up in a great alley, Thai alley. We had so many kids that would just come down to the alley. And by then, I had started getting into more playing basketball.
Right.
So I would be down there on this hoop shooting around. But other guys would come down, hanging out. John Rossi, a.k.a. Wheels, he was a skateboarder. And these guys used to set up a ramp, and they'd be skateboarding and jumping off the ramp. I never tried skateboarding, thank God. But I was always down there shooting and playing. And the Mulligans, Pete Mulligan, Dennis Mulligan, Frank, we were in that alley all the time, just playing whatever, baseball, basketball, football, whatever. So it was just a great environment to grow up in.
Now, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say you're probably one of the top 3 basketball players I've ever seen play.
You live in a very small world, TJ. You got a TV on the NBA ever?
No, that doesn't count. I'm talking that like I know personally.
Oh, okay. Sure. Appreciate that. Thanks.
Where did the passion, because you don't automatically become this great basketball player. So where did the passion and the drive come from to get as good as you are?
I think competition. I think growing up, I was the baby of 6. My older brother was 2.5 years older than me. So I was your regular tag-it-along brother. So if he was doing basketball, I was with him. If he was doing baseball, I was with him. So I was taking a lot of beatings being 2.5 years younger, I mean, the physicality, you're 8, you're playing against kids that are 10 and 11, you're going to try to compete, but you're going to get beat down. So I took a lot of losses, but you just kept playing and then something inside was kind of like burning up and growing where, you just wanted to compete and you wanted to win. So you started working harder. And, when I started playing basketball, I was maybe 12 or 13 where I said, I'm done with baseball, done with football. I kind of just fell in love with basketball. So then it was a constant, like, I got to get better than this guy. I got to get better than this guy. I got to get better than this guy. And I don't know. I think it starts with competition and then competing against people that are better than you makes the road harder. But when you're a young kid, you don't realize that, right. But you just always go, And then I always had older guys that I was playing against as I grew up. So I was 15, 16 playing against the older guys, 17, 18 playing against guys in college and beyond. So it was just that. And then you just wanted to get better and improve. So it meant you had to work harder than some of the other guys.
We talk about your high school career. I believe the last time Phillipsburg won the state championship was with you, yeah?
Yeah, we had a great coach, Coach Fisher. I came through that program at a great time. Coach was not only teaching us and coaching us, but he was always playing hoops with us. So when I was in 7th, 8th grade, I would be playing horse with him, pickup with him. Here again, my brother was two years older. So when my brother Jimmy was a freshman, I was in 7th grade, but I was going to the practices. I was up the courts all the time. So I felt like I went through Fisher's program, like not just 4 years, but more like 5 or 6 years. Right. And he was just a great coach to play for, was very demanding, very vocal, as many people know. But I responded to that. If he yelled at me, I never got upset about it. It made me push myself harder. So I remember vividly, like he'd be screaming at me like, not getting on boards, not getting on the rebounds. It just made you work harder, and then just playing him 1-on-1 and 2-on-2 and competing against somebody who he played Division I. I don't know if anybody knows that, but Coach Fisher played at St. Louis, was a great shooter, was a big guy. And when he played us and we were 15, 16-year-old kids, he didn't go easy on us. He was beating us. And it just made you want to get better and beat him. So great coach, great coaching staff. We had a lot of parent support. And then just the guys through our program, Whitey, Sove, Kenny Green, Chris Troxel. We had a good nucleus, and we grew together. We went through some rough times, and it was good. We got lucky. We beat a team that was a lot better, a lot talented than us. But thank God Kenny Green hit those foul shots at the end, and we won by one. So it was fun. It was a good time.
We got some comments coming in. Rocky Flower said, "What's up, Ed?"
Rocky, my boy, Rocky. Tell him I said hello. He's the greatest, man. I love Rocky.
Another powerhouse on the court. Sheesh.
Hey, Rocky used to run. My brother and I would take him over to Easton, and we used to tell Rocky, you gotta go out for the cross country or track team. And I don't think he ever did. He was a couple years younger than me, but he would run up that hill, like Washington Street Hill. You know where I'm talking about? You know where the old Eric Theater was?
Mm-hmm.
And to the left was that hill. Rocky would run up that 2-3 times like it was nothing. And he was an amazing athlete. Amazing athlete.
Yeah. So. Wild. So real quick, I want to get back to Fit. Was Fisher really like that on the court? Was he good like that?
Oh, he was outstanding. Yeah, he got a scholarship. He played D1 at St. Louis University. Mm-hmm. Is in the Easton Hall of Fame. Could absolutely shoot the ball. And I think the biggest thing with him is he was just so tenacious, so passionate. And not only the way he played, but also the way he coached. And, you had to understand why he was yelling at you. It wasn't to put you down. People in the crowd would say, oh, geez, putting him down. Tarpey's getting ripped out. But he was just trying to get me to play harder and trying to go from this level to this level. And, if you responded to that, which I did, you were going to be successful in this program. And part of it's coming from Peterborough, the streets of Peterborough. It's a tough blue-collar town. And we've got a lot of good athletes, in the past and in the present day that come up through those streets. And or blue-collar. I love that word, blue-collar. Blue-collar town, tough kids.
Is it now? I heard a story that Pistol Pete had torched Fish back in the day.
I heard that story too. I think from what I heard, Coach Fisher was like a sophomore. Okay. And he was coming off the bench, but there was an injury. Some guy was hurt, so he was going to start now as a sophomore. I think at the time, Pistol was a senior, and he was averaging probably 50 a game at this time. And I guess Coach Fisher had a guard him. So the day before, one of the reporters said, what can you do to win? And I think Coach just said, you're not going to try to get the Pistol mad, right? So he said, I think if we can hold him under his average, we might win, which is a pretty good thing. Maybe he only scores 44, we win by 2, right? So the reporter twisted it and said something like Fisher's going to hold Pistol under 20. So all of a sudden they're warming up, and Pistol runs over and said, yo, which one of you is Fisher? And he goes, I am. And he goes, you got a big mouth. I'm going to shut it tonight. And I think the Pistol had 55, and I think Coach fouled out like within 5 minutes or something. Pistol was unbelievably hard to guard, dude.
I couldn't imagine. I could not imagine. Who's the toughest player you've ever had to guard?
Me? Wow. Now, you're not talking like if I played against anybody that was in the NBA, right? I mean, no. I played against some NBA guys. But you're talking like just like local, really good local players?
We'll start local and then NBA.
Wow. Okay. I think a couple guys from Allentown were really, really good. Glenn Nowak. Okay. He played at Whitehall. He was about 6'5", 6'6". Could really shoot it. Played in a great program. Played D2. I forget where. Some school in Pensy. But he was always a tough guy to guard because he could shoot it. He could take it down low. And he played with like Bobby Wolf, a D1 player. Scotty Koval. I don't know if you know who Scotty Koval is, but Scotty coaches at DeSales. Just won his 500th game, which is amazing. Yeah, I think it was 500, maybe 300. Either way, it's amazing. But Nugs was tough. My boy Eddie Page. Eddie Page was a thug. He was super, super tough. But I went up against Page a number of times, and then finally, thank God, we joined forces. And I thought we were a pretty tough pair together, him and I. Let me see, Scotty Thatcher was a tough player back in the day. He played at Moravian. A lot of guys from Easton. I didn't have to guard Eric Jacobs, but Eric Jacobs was one heck of a player. So
I
yeah, there's
heard
a lot of them in the Valley.
I heard Jacobs was an assassin too with the ball.
Eric could shoot it, dude. Eric could hit it from three. If you left him open, he would drill it from three. He'd go by you quick. If you fouled him, he wasn't going to miss a foul shot. He probably shot 90. Gosh, he probably shot like 98% foul shooting for his life. TJ, we're down in Philly one time, and we're playing at this Hoop It Up. I think it's me, Pagey, and Eric Jacobs. And we're probably mid to late 20s. And they had a foul shooting contest. You threw $1 in, and you shot as many, make so many in a row. And I think somebody made like 35, 36. So me and Eric showed up, and we're both like, we could beat this guy. So he throws his $1 in, and I pull my $1 out of my sock. I'm going to follow him, right? DJ, Eric hits, and I kid you not, and I might have this number wrong, 106 in a row. 106 foul shots in a row. Now, if I say I have that number wrong, it might have been 108, 102, but it was over 100 in a row. Then he finally misses. I'm supposed to go next. Dude, I took my $1, put it back in my sneaker. I said, I'm not even going to try to beat 106. So
for sure.
I should text Eric. I stay in touch with him every once in a while, and I should text him and find out, how many he did, because I'm pretty sure he'll remember that day.
That's crazy. Now, taking yourself out of the equation, right? Because I don't want any biases. Who do you think the best player to come out of Phillipsburg is?
I think that's pretty easy. I think Tommy Brennan.
Okay, yeah.
I think he's the best player to come out of the town of Peaburg. Okay. Phenomenal high school player, and obviously Tommy's got to be early 70s, my guess.
Yeah.
I never saw him play in high school or college because I was a little kid. I played pickup with him a few times when he was probably in his mid 30s. And he was good, but he wasn't as good as he was back in the day because he was more into coaching than playing by then. But he went to Georgia. He matched up against Pistol Pete too. So I'm not sure, how many he got against Pistol, but Tommy's probably the number one player out of Peaburg. So no doubt, he's a GOAT. I tell Brian every once in a while, I'll be like, your dad was the GOAT or something like that. And Peaburg GOAT, I call him PBGOAT. So yeah, Tommy, without a doubt, Tommy Brennan, no hesitation.
Brian, it's funny you say that. Brian's going to be on the show next week.
I got to watch that. Yeah, he's doing similar to what I'm doing. Right. I think he's in the DC area, but he's taking basketball and just using it to help kids get better on the floor, but also help them get better off the floor. And to me, that's what it's all about, impacting kids. And it's an easy fit for me because I have a basketball in my hands, Right. So to me, it's just like, I got a nice lifestyle, man. I get to play myself, and I work with a ton of kids down here, and it's just a good time.
So I'm going to give you one name, and then we're going to dive into it.
Okay, let me get a sip of my water. Let me give a shout out to my sponsor, Gatorade, since you were shouting out to your sponsors. My sponsor is Gatorade, so just kidding, I wish. But go ahead, hit me off.
The Firth Youth Center.
That's home. That's home. TJ, I grew up 525 steps from the youth center from my front porch. I think I might have spent the most hours during operating hours and during non-operating hours. I love that place. I don't think I would be where I'm at today if the youth center wasn't there. And not just the building. I mean, it's just a building, but it's the people inside that make that place come to life. And I was so fortunate, so blessed to have a guy like, Mr. Talata in my life, Mr. Grassi. I don't know if you remember Mr. Grassi.
Nah, I don't. I remember Mr. Talata, though.
Yeah, Mr. Talata. Oh, he was the best. He's such a good guy. He gave me my first job down there when they had the egg exhibits. And then when I was in high school, I became a playground leader as a sophomore, and then just other things like working at the youth center. And he was just such a positive influence on my life. And then you had Staub, the governor, Jimmy Staub. You had Funzy, Jumbo, Sammy LaValva. These are all grown up guys that Paul Plummer too. These are all grown up guys that were at the youth center. And I don't know, maybe I was seeing things through rose-colored glasses, but it seemed like when I came in or any of the other kids would come in, they were genuinely happy to see you. You know, it wasn't like they were doing it for the money, because they weren't doing it for the money, you know. But they would hoop with you. They'd play ping pong with you. They were like big brothers to you, and they would help you get through some tough times in your life, you know.
Shout outs to Funzy, man. That's a great man.
Funzy is good. He's out in Nevada. He's living out there. He's been there probably, gosh, time flies, man. I would say 7 to 8 years now.
Okay.
So this may be like the longest time I've never seen Funzy, and I met Funzy when I was an 8-year-old little kid at the youth center, you know. So yeah, I miss that guy. He's a great dude, big influence in my life, and a lot of kids at the center in Peaburg. Funzy helped them out tremendously.
I just want to say, you know, like for the generation that I had in there, it was, you know, the Dave Thoders.
Davey Thoder, love that dude. I bet you Thoder is listening. Is he? I don't know if you can tell.
I can't tell right now. I could go back and tell. I'm sure he is.
I bet you David Thoder's got a pair of Air Jordans on.
I seen he copped the Carolina 4s last week. Man, listen.
Yep, I love David Thoder. He's a good dude. I loved when he was at the youth center. He was, you know, he wasn't a Peaburg guy. He was more, I think, from across the river. But he fit in. It didn't take him too long to fit into our little nucleus down there, you know. So he was just a good dude. It was good to get to know him, and he was always wearing Carolina blue Jordan stuff. So maybe that's why we liked him. Plus, he could shoot it. And he was a baller. So how can you not?
Man, listen, he was okay. He was okay. Let's not get crazy.
You think so? I think he was more than okay. So.
Yeah, let's not get crazy. I'm not here to gas Thoder up. This isn't Thoder's episode.
Okay. Hey, let's get back to Funzy here.
For sure.
I do remember, I think me and Eden were getting something out of 7-Eleven.
Okay.
And I think, were you working at 7-Eleven at one time?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember you were coming across the parking lot and you had a stash of money from 7-Eleven. I think you were going to the local bank right there.
Right next door, right.
Right next door. And you had a ton of cash in there. And I remember you said to me, I took down another legend. And I said, who? And you said, I beat Funzy one-on-one finally. Do you remember that convo?
Yes.
You do?
Do you know, like, first and foremost, you would never even play against me. Like, you had to
I would rebound for you, or I'd have you rebound for me.
No, yeah, you would never. I was just going to say you would rebound. You would never rebound for TJ. If you want to play, you could rebound for me. Man, listen, that Firth Youth Center is definitely home.
It's a good spot.
Definitely home.
Great spot. And have you been down there lately?
I was down there maybe a year or two back. They had me speak at an event that they hosted.
Oh, that's great, TJ. That's great. Way to give back, man.
For sure.
Dude, what do you think of that place? Isn't it like
night and day?
Amazing.
Yes.
I mean, it is like that girl Kelly, man. I give her total props. She's done a remarkable job at the center.
They got air conditioning now, cuz.
Dude, the whole place looks different. It's such a good vibe, not just with the kids being there. There's always kids there. She has so many great programs going, but the floor, they took care of the weight room. They opened that up for the kids to have more tables. They have AC in the gym, scoreboard. I mean, it's just, she's done a great job. I mean, she's a perfect fit for that place, you know?
Glass backboards?
Glass backboards. Yes. Yes.
Times have changed.
It's opened all the time. It's like 7-Eleven, man. That place is open all the time, you know? Christmas time, snow days. She's got that place open. She's making an impact, dude, with those kids. And, you know, her heart's in the right place. So it's great to see somebody in there doing that stuff, you know?
Can we get you to come back to Phillipsburg? What would the conditions be?
I see the look. I like what I'm doing here. I love what I'm doing here. I would love to be doing what I'm doing here in my hometown at the center. I mean, it's just, that's such a good place. It's very dear to my heart, and it helped me out tremendously. I've seen the impact on so many kids. I would love to be part of the youth center one day. Heck yeah, definitely. That's that's a home spot for me. So yeah.
Most definitely. So now we've touched on it a couple times. What are you doing today down there in the sunshine,
I'm
other than
working on
working on
two
your
things.
tan?
Yeah, I'm working on my jump shot and my tan. That's about it. So
I'm not
no, I'm
mad
just
at it.
kidding. Yeah, I run a basketball program here called Treasure Coast Select Basketball,
Okay.
and we basically do outreaches, and I do a lot of training of kids, and I do some camps and some 3-on-3 events here. Uh, Very fortunate, very blessed. Me, my wife, and my daughter, we moved here 6 years ago. TJ, I didn't know anybody, nobody. And, within a short span of time, I had a key to a gym, and the gym was in very bad shape. We had to get 10 truckloads of junk to haul the stuff out of there. But we got in there, we painted the floor, the walls, we made it look good. We eventually got some donors to get air conditioning in there. And then just recently, I was able to get a guy I know to donate probably about $8,000 to $10,000 of LED lights in there. So this gym that was like a dungeon is now just a bright place that has come alive. And my partner down here is get this, is former NBA baller, former NBA All-Star Steve Nicks of the Sixers.
Nice.
The big lefty. Do you remember him?
Not necessarily. I know who he is because of the conversations you have with me, but
he played with the Sixers back when they went to the finals a number of times. He was Dr. J's roommate.
okay.
Him and Dr. J are still like this. And matter of fact, you heard of Ice Cube's Big Three classic, right?
Yeah.
Well, Dr. J is one of the coaches. His assistant coach is my boy Steve.
Okay.
So they do that.
Dope.
They're going to get ready to kick that off in July here. So he's going to do that again this summer. But he's so much fun just to hang out with, and he's just he's got the same values as I do, same type of personality. So him and I have been doing stuff for like 5 years now, and it's been going great, And he just wants to do stuff. He wants to help kids. He doesn't need to be doing this. He's in his 70s, but he wants to do this stuff. He wants to be in the gym. He wants to see kids improve. And we have a nice little program here. Basketball is not a big sport down here. You got football, baseball, tennis, golf. You got some other lacrosse that may be a little bit ahead of it. But for what we're doing here, the amount of kids, it's not a big area like in the Valley where I'd have 30 high schools at my disposal. I only have 3 high schools in our area. And 2 of the high schools not really into basketball. But we do our best, and we have a blast. We have a good core of kids that keep coming to our stuff. So we got to be doing something right,
Look at God work, man. That's amazing.
Yeah. Got to open that door. I mean, nobody, TJ. And 3 months later, I got a key to a gym. Can you imagine that? It's pretty cool.
Well, that really doesn't surprise me. You're a gym rat. I mean, that was bound to happen.
That's what Eden and Sunshine said. They were actually like praying about it, like that I would actually get a key. And I was like, yeah, I'll pray about it. But my prayers were like, oh, God, give me a key, But they were really praying about it. And 3 months later, bada bing, bada boom. But I had a key since I was in 8th grade. I had a key to the youth center for years. Loved that place. And then, we ended up moving down to Good Shepherd. And probably for like 18, 19 years, I had access down there. And just a great, great place, So.
Got another name for you.
Go ahead, throw it out there.
Phillip Nider.
My boy Phillip. Philly Phil. I love Philly Phil, man. He's another outsider that came to the youth center and just fit in perfectly with us.
Most definitely.
Probably the craziest guy I've ever met in my life.
For sure.
But a good guy. He's a great guy. He'd give you the shirt off your back. As a matter of fact, I was doing a fundraising game for Eddie Mass, one of those Eddie Mass games we did after Eddie passed away.
Right.
And I usually get T-shirts printed up, and Phillip heard that I was getting T-shirts. Dude, Phillip shows up at my house. He goes, I got T-shirts for you. He opens up his back trunk. He's got about 8 dozen tie-dye T-shirts in there that he had printed up himself. He gave me like 3 dozens. I'm like, here, how much money are you? He's like, Tar, I don't want a thing, nothing. And he wouldn't take a dime. So just a great, great guy. I love that guy. He's a good dude, man. Got so many stories about. I could spend an hour talking about Phillip. I don't know how he got the nickname Philly Phil because he's not from Philadelphia.
No.
But yeah,
No.
he's a great dude.
Rich Schiller just chimed in and said, "As a Firth youth center legend, I used to mimic your jump shot," and I think we all did.
Thanks. Someone said, "What's up?" That's good. I like that.
I think we all did.
TJ, your jumper shot, you shot a lot farther than me out, dude. You were
Listen,
shooting
let's be clear.
25, 30 footers at the center.
We can get to it right now on who has the better jump shot.
Out of who?
Me and you.
From what distance? 30 feet or 15, 18 feet?
I love the fact that you don't even remotely take it serious at all.
Well, I think you shot threes better than me because you used to crank them from 30 feet out. So, yeah, you had a good shot, no doubt, from way beyond. Way beyond.
Sure. You don't miss, though.
I shoot better shots than you. I don't shoot 30 footers. I shoot 10, 12, 15 footers. More makeable shots.
Know your strengths.
Bingo. Exactly.
Know your strengths.
You were one of the best long-range bombers at the center, though, no doubt.
I appreciate that. One of my guys hit me the other day and said, "You know you were Steph Curry before Steph Curry." Yeah, I said, "You know what? Trendsetter."
TJ, you didn't shoot the conventional 19.9 jump shot at the three. You were pulling from 27, 25. You know, guys like Skirbo and Crozier, Travis, they were great three-point shooters too. Probably the top two. Gosh, who would you say were the best three-point shooters out of Phillipsburg?
Skirbo's up there. It's probably Skirbo's
way up there.
Trav, Crozier's up there.
Trav's definitely up there too. Yep. Who would you say after those two?
Richie Manigault, probably.
You know, I heard some good things about him. Recently he graduated from Phillipsburg, right?
Yeah.
I never got to see him play, so I can't say how good, but I've heard he's like a really good player, good kid, blah, blah, blah. So it's good.
Yeah. Eric McGavro had a good shot too back in the day.
Eric did. Eric was a really good player, nice kid, good family. His dad is great. You know, Muggs is great. Eric, unfortunately, had some problems with his back early on, dude. Early on. I remember him and I working out at the youth center, and he was getting ready for his senior year, and he'd go in and go in for a layup or a dunk, and then all of a sudden he'd pull something in his back, and man, I felt so sorry for him. He's a little 17-year-old kid, you know, and ended up going to Lafayette, and I don't think he ever got to fully play healthy, you know.
Harry Moore's got a chopper on him.
Harry is a good kid, man. How successful has Harry become? You know, for a Phillipsburg kid coming out of Phillipsburg, playing for Furtown, and just graduating to Firth Youth Center. So happy for Harry, man. He's got a great wife, his little boy, and he's coached up at Lehigh. That's great. I always tell him I can't wait till he gets his own program. And one of these days, some college is going to say, "Hey, I got to hire this guy," you know. And I don't know where he's going to get the job. I don't care if it's in Alaska. I'm getting on a plane. I'm flying out there for a week, and I'm going to be at his first practice with the biggest smile on my face and be like, "Wow, Harry Moore, love that kid, love that guy. He's such a good kid, man. Love him.
A stand-up guy."
Yeah, he's good. I miss Harry. I miss a lot of guys. Being down here in Florida, you do miss a lot of people back home, and Harry's one of them. You know, I used to see him a lot, and he's a good dude. So yeah, miss him.
So, like I said, I'm not going to keep you all night. You know, I know it's almost past your bedtime.
Come on now. I can make it to 9:30 tonight.
So we talk all the time, right? And you're by far the most energetic spirit in my life.
Thanks.
I could be dead tired and you'll call me up rapping. And here we are. I'm like, let's go. So now on my show, do you care to rap for the audience, or are you just going to digress and politely not this evening?
I will politely keep my rapping to Christmas presents and birthday presents. So, no. Hey, getting to rap, though, I wanted to ask you a question. I know you're into rap. Give me your top 3 rapping artists, but they got to be pre-1995, guys that I would probably know or heard of. So In the last 25 years, I don't know if I could name a rap star, but hit me off 80s and 90s.
Rakim.
Rakim, I've heard of him. Sure, yeah.
I mean, Jay-Z was out early then. He
Sure.
didn't really blow up till later. And so
Mm-hmm.
was the Notorious B.I.G.
Sure.
So
That's
those three,
good.
you know.
Good. Hey, let me ask you this. If you're not listening to rap music, who are you listening to? You know, like my music, I could be, you could walk into my house one day, I might have Sinatra on.
Right.
You might walk in, I might have Marley on, Bob Marley, you know. Might have the Beatles on, the Eagles. My wife loves the Eagles, you know, probably her favorite group. Who are you listening to? I see you as, if you're not listening to rap, I see you as a Barry Manilow type romantic guy. Is that true or false?
That's false.
You were more like a Teddy Pendergrass romantic guy.
Now listen, Tarp, I have playlists for every type of mood that I'm in.
Okay, so you don't just listen to rap. You listen
No,
to
not at all. So
okay,
like,
see, I thought you were just a rap.
No, I listen to a lot of Stain, Creed, classic rock. I
Sure,
listen to a lot of reggae.
Love reggae. It's good stuff.
Reggae keeps me in my happy place. Keeps me like at ease feel.
Eddie Mass introduced me to reggae music back when I was like an 18, 19-year-old little kid.
Okay.
Eddie Mass loved reggae, and he actually made me a tape with about 5 or 6 different artists on there, 2 or 3 songs per, and just gave it to me one day, a little cassette tape, and I listened to that and I enjoyed it. And yeah, I do like reggae, so a lot of times I'll put that on and think about Eddie and some of the good times we had back in the day, hooping and hanging, no doubt. So, yeah.
I listen to a lot of R&B mixes.
Sure.
You know, it depends what kind of mood I'm in. You know, if I'm at the gym, it's just hard rock.
Sure. Trying to get that extra pump. Yeah. Yeah.
For sure.
So.
For sure. Big Allen's chiming in and says, who will be in the NBA Finals, Tarp? Can we get your predictions?
Who do I think's going to be there? Wow, that's a tough call. I don't know. It's a tough one. Who are you thinking?
I'm thinking probably Brooklyn versus the Lakers.
You think the Lakers are going to get there?
Man, listen, until you tell LeBron James otherwise, all roads go through him.
That would be a great final. Brooklyn, it'd be good to see basically New Jersey, right? They were New Jersey once in a day.
With
against
Drazen
LA,
Petrovic.
that would be pretty cool. Huh?
With Drazen Petrovic.
Oh, wow, dude. Yeah. I remember Drazen. He was phenomenal, huh? Yeah, that boy could shoot it, dude. He was tough.
Jason Williams, Keith Van Horn, Kerry Kittles.
Yeah, so you were just remembering that team. That was probably 20 years ago, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild. That's good. So, hey, let me ask you this. I'm going to get a little serious here. When you found out we were cousins, do you remember when you found out we were related and we were actually cousins, which we did not know that? Do you remember like saying to me, hey, Tarp, we're related? Do you remember any of that dialogue back in the day?
You know, vaguely. I remember having a conversation with my mom, right?
Mm-hmm. What'd your mom say?
I said, Mom, listen, there's this guy down the youth center, right? Now, my mom's maiden name was Tarpey.
Yeah.
So I said, Mom, listen, this guy down the youth center is phenomenal. And his name is Eddie Tarpey. Is he related to you? And then she told me the story. And then I think I brought that story to you.
Yeah, that's pretty wild, isn't it?
Yeah,
because I didn't even know. But, you know, I remember you coming into the youth center, you know, TJ Fry. And then one day you showed up and you told me we were related. And, of course, the Fry threw me a curveball. I was like, how am I related to a Fry? But then your mom was cousins with my dad.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember going home and my dad said he was there when they brought you home. And they had a party for you in Phillipsburg. And my dad was there. And they had a big party for, you know, welcoming baby TJ. So that's a classic story my dad would tell every once in a while, you know.
For sure.
Good stuff.
Sure. Most definitely. Tarp, listen, man. And like I said, I'm not here to keep you all night, right?
Sure.
What's in your playlist, specifically artists? What are you listening to? Like before you go to, you were flexing your guns earlier. You're jacked for a 42-year-old man. So
42.
hey, listen, I'm
I
polite.
wish. I'm 56, brother. 56.
What are you listening to?
What do I listen? Like I said, I listen to a wide range of music. You know, I could have the Beatles on, the Stones. I could have. I don't really listen to too much country.
Right.
Once in a while, a cool song will come out, and I'll hear it, and I'll be excited about it, and I'll come home and tell Eden and Sunshine about it, and they're just kind of laugh and be like, that song's like a year old. Like I remember that Keith Urban song and Carrie Underwood, "The Fighter," came out.
Okay.
And I think it was out for about 2 years. And I think I heard it. And I was like, man, you got to hear this great song. And they were just laughing at me because I didn't know that song was so old. But I listen to, some R&B stuff. I love old school music, some of the rap stuff back then. Like some rock music and
Froze
stuff.
up.
But I'm Hall & Oates in. But
Okay.
the Hall & Oates stuff is not like, Man Eater or something like that. It's more of their soulful stuff. I like their soul music a lot more. So, that kind of stuff, and it varies, how I'm feeling. Pretty much like you.
I'm not mad at it. So how now it's a little easier because you're older, right? How do you balance being a husband, a father with everything you do? How do you keep that balance?
Time management, just time management. And, I am retired, which is great, but I still do stuff to fill up my day, but I don't overload it. Working out is very important to me. So my routine is I get up, and if I have classes at say 10:30 where I'm doing some training, I'm normally in the gym at 9 and I'm getting my own workout in. So then when the kids come at 10:30, I've already lifted, already shot, I've already trained. So now I do stuff with them. And like when I'm training kids, I don't just stand there and say, all right, go do these jump shots or go do these dribbling drills or go jump rope. I do the stuff with them. And if I see them getting tired, I'll just, say, come on, let's go. And got to push through this. And I'll grab the jump rope too. So I'll be sweating like a dog. So maybe that day I might get 2-3 workouts in. But I just try to keep pushing my body. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Sometimes I come home and I'm really sore and tired. But I have a routine, and it's been a routine I've had pretty much my whole life. Things change a little bit here and there. Actually, because I'm in Florida, I kind of gravitated to swimming now. I have a huge pool outside. It's like an Olympic-sized pool. So I'm doing laps, which I never, ever really did living back up in Jersey, I might be in the lake and swim for a couple of minutes here and there, but I actually have a routine where I do it. So I just got to keep training, try to keep myself in shape as I'm getting older, So just got to keep pushing it, man. Just keep the metal. What is that? Keep the pedal to the metal or something like that. So yeah.
Right. I got one last question for you, and as controversial as it may be, I need your top 5 players to come out of the Phillipsburg Lehigh Valley area basketball-wise.
Top 5. Okay, so I can use the Lehigh Valley because that's a lot of great players, bro. Lehigh Valley. Wow, I say the number one guy, Larry Miller, probably. Larry Miller, which I'm not sure if you know who that name is. Okay, I'm gonna educate you. Larry Miller's from Catasauqua.
Okay.
He ended up going to UNC, North Carolina, playing for Dean Smith.
Right.
He was an All-American, and then he played in the ABA probably for 10 years. I think he had the most points ever in a game with something like 65 or 67. But Dean Smith, of all the players he's coached, he said his top 2 guys were Jordan and Larry Miller. So obviously, this guy Larry Miller, who's got to be like 75 right now, he's probably the best player ever, bar none, out of the Valley.
Learn something new every day.
Yeah. So if you look him up, dude, he was like an All-American with Pistol Pete, probably Lou Alcindor, guys like that. But Larry Miller out of Catasauqua, bar none. Uh, gee, I know I didn't really play against him, but it was Pete Lasicki who went to Penn State. Pete
Tough.
Lasicki was tough. Scotty Koval out of Whitehall. He went to William and Mary. Scotty was really, really good. Um, Eddie Mass and Bob Grecian, obviously they played in the NBA.
Agree?
Were they Valley guys growing up? No, but they moved to the Valley guys, and we considered them, first youth center all-stars with us, when they started playing with us all the time. Obviously, Tommy Brennan from Peaburg. Joe Orchilli, from what I heard, he was phenomenal back in the day.
All Saints Regional, St.
Yeah,
Phillips and St. James.
yeah. Joe, they said Joe O could play. So I would say there's some of the top guys that I'm thinking off the top of my head. Randolph was phenomenal. Randolph Swift, he was great. But I think the top guy's got to be Larry Miller out of Caddy, no doubt.
I always ask my guests before we go, is there anything that you want to ask me? But you already did that, so we're good.
You kind of did that.
You already did that. See that? Got that out of the way mid-show.
Good.
Mid-show.
I just want to. I don't want to ask you anything. I'd like to just make a statement about you. I just, I've told you before how proud I am of you, man. You've come a long way, and I'm, shocked at who you are, what you've become. Proud that I could have been a small part of your life. And man, I love you, TJ. You're my little cousin. I've known you since you were a kid, and man, I'm glad that God put us in the same path. And man, I'm always there for you, man. If you ever need me, just give me a shout. I'm always got your back, brother. You know that.
Most definitely. We have one comment that I've been saving before we go.
I got a birthday present for you. Hold on a second. Here you go. Look at this girl.
Hey. Hi again, TJ.
Hi, how are you? Thank you kindly. The last question I have for you, Tarp, Dave Thoder would like to know.
Oh boy.
I want to know,
no.
have you ever met an open teammate that you liked?
That's a great question. And I get ticked off if somebody gets opened and I'm going for a jump shot and they're wide open and I have to pass the ball. But yeah, that's a good question, David Thoder. So let me ask David Thoder a question. Is he got Nike gear on or UNC gear on? I want to know which one. Or Jordan stuff on. What's he wearing tonight?
I'm sure he probably has a collab of both.
Probably.
If I were to guess, he would have a collab of both. That's
funny. Well, listen, little cuz, thanks for inviting me. I'm finally glad we were able to get our schedules right,
Most definitely. It's a pleasure, man. I love you guys to the max. I miss you guys. I can't wait to see you.
Dave, we'll be home soon. So
Dave said Nike today.
Nike today. Good.
There you have it.
Good stuff. All right, little cuz, you be good. Keep taking care of that great family you have.
Thank you, cuz. Much love to you. Peace and blessings. I hope you guys have a great evening. We'll see you soon.
See you, T.
Spin with Spitter. We are out of here, man. Much love to y'all. Peace.
Spitter.